Hi everyone, this is Revolution Ricky here in my house and in my office at Casa de Revolution. Here to do a collection video of sorts. This one about a band that I really love and have grown to respect over the years. I'm talking about Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham, Led Zeppelin. I've been a big Led Zeppelin fan well over 40 years. Used to listen to them in the car. You turn on the stereo and you hear Stairway to Heaven. And nowadays you'll hear more than just that song. You'll hear other songs by Led Zeppelin like Misty Mountain Hop, Rock and Roll, Whole Lot of Love, Communication Breakdown, Dazed and Confused. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on. So this is going to be a collection video of sorts. I'm also going to admit certain other things that I have by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I don't have anything by John Paul Jones. Don't have the Scream for Help or Screaming for Help soundtrack album that he did years ago for this movie score. So I'm just going to admit some other stuff like solo material. But before I begin, if you would please hit like and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Well, without further ado, I'm going to start off with the records first. And this collection video will include DVDs, and it will include sets that I do have on CD. So without further ado, let's get on with it. I'm going to show you all the vinyl first, then I'll move my way to the CDs, and that'll be it. This one is the first Led Zeppelin album I bought on vinyl. And of course, it's only fitting. I think I bought this for like $1 or $2. It's a Columbia House pressing of Led Zeppelin 1. Like I said, I've bought this for like $1 or $2 at a rummage sale, and they had it, and it was kind of scratched up a little, but it still plays very, very nice. And here's the vinyl on side 1 and side 2. Doesn't have any of the other, I don't think it came with inserts, but I always did like this album. It's raw and energetic, and I really enjoy it. I mean, it has the songs, Good Time, Bad Times, Babe, I'm Going to Leave You, which years ago, during MTV Unplugged, the band Great White performed that song. And it made me go back to the original song to hear what it was like. And I like the original song better. Of course, I do like the Great White song, God Rest Jack Russell's soul, and the victims of what happened in that club fire that Great White performed in years ago. It's sad that Great White will be remembered for that and not remembered for the songs they do have. But it's a raw, energetic album, like, Good Times, Bad Times, of course, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Communication Breakdown, I Can't Quit You, Baby, How Many More Times. And it is just a very good album that I really enjoy. And it's raw and energetic. And I do love that. And this one, we're going to skip a few albums because I do have Led Zeppelin 2 somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. And this one I bought, I think I got it last year for my birthday or the year before. I do remember it was after my foot surgery. So Led Zeppelin 4, and this is a first gatefold pressing, not the first pressing, but the first gatefold, and it plays pretty good. I mean, it's a very good album. I like this one. Better turn it upside. You know, on the first side, it's got Black Dog, Rock and Roll, The Battle Forevermore, and Stairway to Heaven. And on side 2, it's got Misty Mountain Hop, Four Sticks, Going to California, and When the Levee Breaks. Very good albums. Scratched. I don't know who owned it, but it's the first gatefold pressing, and of course it's got the insert, which the insert is just almost in shambles. I'm probably going to replace that with a new cover soon, because I don't want to damage this anymore. And of course it's got the lyrics to Stairway to Heaven on here. You know, this was the album that brought me to the dance on as far as Led Zeppelin is concerned. It's a very good album. I didn't mind the album at all when I first bought it. Of course, I thought it was kind of not weak, but it's the most overplayed of the Led Zeppelin catalog. And of course I got a repressing here that I bought from, I can't remember if I bought this from Walmart or I bought it from Cracker Barrel one year. Of course it's a gatefold, and it's got the hype sticker right here, and of course it's got it's not 180 gram vinyl. Very good press. You know, I don't play it as much. I mean, I think I played it once and that was it, and in fact it's not even got a scratch on it. Of course all the famous songs that made Led Zeppelin famous. I remember being 16 or 17, maybe 18. Of course, it's got the insert right here, which is kind of darker than the other one, of the four symbols, and of course the lyrics to Stairway, and you know it's got the Sandy Denny, who probably did a duet with Robert Plant on Battle Forevermore. I mean, all these songs more or less are in the realm of blues, of course. I mean, you can hear a Led Zeppelin song without that. And Led Zeppelin, they heavily influenced by blues, especially Robert Johnson, B.B. King, Muddy Waters, bands like that. And it's a very good album, but as I'll show you all in a few minutes, not my favorite, but it is the album that brought me to the dance. As far as Led Zeppelin is concerned, of course, I've been getting in a lot of blues influenced music over the last month or so with listening to Robert Johnson. And if you want to really consider them, Led Zeppelin was heavily into that blues rock category, like they were with Cream, they were with Yardbirds. Of course, Jimmy Page was in the Yardbirds, so was Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton. The Who, stuff like that. This one, I did some research on it, and it really surprised me. Excuse me. As I was doing the research for this album, I found out that it's not an official release. It's more or less a Russian copy. As I was doing it, it was more or less a Russian bootleg, and the cover's just, I like Presence. That's my favorite album. It's not in the realms of Led Zeppelin 4 or Led Zeppelin 2, which I'll show off in a minute, but it's a Russian copy of Presence, and it has Achilles' Last Stand, Nobody's Fault But Mine, T for One, Royal Orleans, Fight for Your Life. It's like I said, I did some research, and out of Russia they were bootlegging copies of albums like the Beatles, like Led Zeppelin, and this album being a Russian bootleg, the band didn't receive compensation for it, but the album cover is very flimsy, and I can't even get it into the cover sometimes to put the record in because it didn't have this, and it's hard to even open the cover sometimes. Let me get this, I'll deal with it in a minute. This one is a buy I bought last week, and it was on clearance for like $15. It was a regular $26 album. It's the final Led Zeppelin studio album, if you want to call it that, and it's a repressing. Coda, the hype sticker, and comes with a laminated pass. Well, not a laminated pass, but a backstage pass for fans to have. Wouldn't mind probably getting this laminated and hanging around my neck sometimes, especially if I were to go see Robert Plant, because he still does concerts, or maybe even Jimmy Page, because he works on solo material, or even John Paul Jones. But here's that. It was Tour of Europe 1980 guest. I could have really loved to have had that, met them, and of course it has the trying to get it out of here. Has the insert right here, all the songs list. We're Gonna Groove, Poor Tom, I Can't Quit You Baby, Walter's Milk, Ozone Baby, Darlene, Bonzo's Montreux, and Wearing and Tearing. It was more or less a together of outtakes or renditions of records. And I think the reason I bought Coda was it was not one of the Led Zeppelin albums I did have, and I just wanted to get it, just to get it. And I've listened to it a couple times. It plays great. And here's that one. Very good album. Not one of my favorites. And then this was just released because it was the final album that Led Zeppelin had, so I'm okay with it. I'm just going to put this on a cover. Live TV, cut me a break. I always, like I said, I always like Led Zeppelin. My sister likes Led Zeppelin more than me, but I'm still a fan of Led Zeppelin. I can listen to them all the time and not get bored, especially more or less the blues singles like Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, I Can't Quit You, How Many More Times, and Dazed and Confused, which is a heavy blues influenced song. Even their later years when they released Traveling Riverside Blues, which is Robert Johnson did it originally, and they just did it like an influence. And of course, their live album, the song remains the same. I always love this movie. Used to rent it maybe once every 6 months when a video store in my area where I used to live used to have the movie of this. The song remains the same, and I got it on video cassette. I haven't gotten rid of it, and it's a gatefold. I think I bought this for like maybe $10 for my birthday one year because I really wanted the album. I have the CD somewhere, but it's all scratched to hell. And of course, the insert is flimsy. And here's what this is. The first record, and this is the second side. Live albums are usually a hit and miss with me, but with this one, it's a hit. I love it. When I would watch the movie, I think the video cassette had too much of the bass and not enough the actual guitars, but it still sounded good. I really liked it. And here's the second record, side 3 and 4. You know, this was their night during their show in Madison Square Garden. Of course, Madison Square Garden is where they were. I think they were staying at the Plaza Hotel in New York, and they were robbed of over. I can't remember. It was over $100,000 worth of receipts, and why a band would carry that much money, I never know. But they questioned the band, and still to this day, no one knows what happened, how they lost all that money. But no one has ever come forward. I mean, maybe it was an inside job. I don't know, but who knows? And this one is from singer Robert Plant. This is probably going to tick my sister off a little bit, but I was ticked off when she kind of stole it from me. I mean, I didn't steal. She borrowed it. Usually when she borrows stuff from me, I never see it again. But it's the same way with her. It's the Robert Plant. I got this when I was 18 years old. It's the Robert Plant solo album, Now in Zen. I do have the other one, Fate of Nations, and this one has always been a favorite to me, even though that album's a better album. I mean, it's got Heaven Knows, Tall Cool One, which is a great track, Ship of Fools, Helen of Troy, Billy's Revenge, White, Clean, and Neat. And like I said, my sister would borrow the cassette from me all the time. And last time she borrowed it, I never saw it again. I think she borrowed it. Like I said, borrowed it from us several times. And here's the lyric sheet. And Jimmy Page and Robert Plant always ended up on their albums together, singing and playing. And the vinyl. Really love this album. Wish I had more. The Robert Plant album I did have. I think it was his debut solo album. Had so much mess on it, I couldn't play it. So I ended up either throwing it away or got rid of it. I couldn't clean it up no matter how hard I tried, and I didn't want to ruin it, so I just ended up getting rid of it, maybe tossing it in the garbage or something. But Now in Zen has always been a favorite of mine. Got it when I was for my 18th birthday. I'm fixing to hit another birthday. I'll be 56 in a couple of weeks. But Now in Zen is a very good album. And of course, speaking of Robert Plant, I have a promo copy of Big Log, excuse me, sorry. And here's the 45. Plays great. I think I found this at the record store for like $1 or a quarter, and I figured why not. Set this there for me. And of course, from Jimmy Page's band after he left Led Zeppelin, The Firm, which is a supergroup of the singer from can't remember his name offhand. Let's see, maybe help. Paul Rogers. It was written on here a little bit. Paul Rogers, Chris Slade, who went on to do work for AC/DC. I think he was in the Manfred Mann group for a little while. Tony Franklin, who went on to form Blue Murder with John Sykes and Carmine Appice. But it's Radioactive, and this is a promo single also from the song Radioactive from The Firm. I really didn't care too much about The Firm growing up. I thought they were okay, but I really did like the song. It was a good song. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to move on to the CDs. I guess we'll start at the top. This one I got a few weeks ago, last week, I believe. Been getting my collection of Led Zeppelin up and going. And this is a 2D CD set. Sorry, Live TV cut me a break. 2 CD set of Led Zeppelin 1. And got the hype sticker already, and got the sticker of the song list behind it. And it's a 2 CD set. Very good album. Raw, energetic. Love it. Love the song Communication Breakdown. They got a rendition of Moby Dick on here too. So, and of course this one is from the original collection that I bought years ago at Walmart. Led Zeppelin 2. Very good album. Love the song Whole Lot of Love. Heartbreaker is a good song. Ramble On is a good song. Moby Dick, I really do like. The drum solo from John Bonham is fantastic. Here's what the CD looks like. Just a regular CD. Nothing major. And of course, Led Zeppelin 3, which has the Immigrant Song, which is a, Robert Plant does that vocals, that high vocals. Celebration Day, Since I've Been Loving You is a very good bluesy type track. I think I got this one at Walmart. These were relatively cheap, like maybe $5 or $6. They were just marking down their prices. And Led Zeppelin 4. Like I said, I got multiple copies of this. I still have the copy of the Led Zeppelin cassette that I bought when I was a teenager, but I don't know where it's at. It's probably in one of these boxes somewhere. Of course, it's just a 1 CD album, and I don't know if it's got the lyrics to Stairway. Let me check it out real quick. Oh no, it's a booklet. A little bit of a booklet. Let's see. Well, no, it's got the band photo. Of course, lyrics to Stairway and another band photo. Like I said, this was the album that brought me to the dance. And of course, it's in digipack, which I don't really care for. But of all, me and my sister would trade Led Zeppelin albums. I would always buy her one for Christmas or her birthday, and she would always buy me something from Motley Crue or whatever group I was listening to at that point. Houses of the Holy, which is a great album. Never got the appeal of why they would name their albums after songs, but the songs would be on another album. It wouldn't be like Houses of the Holy would ended up on the next record, but still, this is a great album. This is a 2 CD set. Don't know the lyrics, the songs offhand. I do know that Houses of the Holy is a very good album. I think, let's see, got a track listing here somewhere. Let me see where it's at. Okay, yeah, here we go. The song remains the same, of course. The Rain song, Over the Hills and Far Away, is a great track. Dire Maker is a good one. No Quarter, The Ocean. Really haven't played the second CD yet, but when I do, I'll let y'all know how it sounds. Of course, I don't mind it at all. Let's try to get that in there. And I'll worry about that in a minute. And of course, this Led Zeppelin album I think I bought for like $5 at the record store, and it was very good, and I don't mind the condition of it. In fact, I prefer jewel cases instead of digipacks, and it's physical graffiti. I think this was a BMG Direct, the fat case, 2 CD set. Of course, here's CD 1, which has the tracks Custard Pie, The Rover, In My Time to Die, and Houses of the Holy. I remember hearing Houses of the Holy for the first time, and it was during Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood tour, where Tommy Lee would be over the heads doing his drum thing and playing along with tracks that he selected. And Houses of the Holy was one of them off Physical Graffiti, which is a great, great song. And of course, 10 Years Gone, Night Flight, In the Light, Ron, however you say it, The Wanton Song, Boogie with SUT, Black Country Women, and Sick Again. I'm just going to read it right here. And of course, the booklet it comes with is not very much of a booklet, I don't believe. Maybe I'll open it. Of course, nothing major, just art. I remember the Rolling Stones sitting on these steps where Physical Graffiti picture was taking place, doing the song Waiting on a Friend, which is one of my favorites. I always dedicate that song to friends that are no longer with us, like a friend of mine who was a big Led Zeppelin fan, Mike Sills, him and another friend of mine who I went to see Judas Priest last year. We went 2 years ago, and then I turned around and returned the favor to him the following year. I think they got a couple of Led Zeppelin tattoos, and he was, every time I hear the song Waiting on a Friend, it kind of reminds me of them, because Mike Seals was a good guy, and unfortunately he's no longer with us. That's another story, but I miss him. He was a good guy. So Physical Graffiti, very good album. Of course, my favorite album by Led Zeppelin is got to be Presence. I'll do a ranking of the Led Zeppelin albums in retrospect later on. Of course, Presence, it's not one of their more known albums, but it's more or less one of the lesser. But it's still a good album. They recorded it while Robert Plant was on the mend from his car accident. And, I've always wanted this little, if I had the Maybe this one will be a little bit bigger. You could see it, the object. That I wouldn't mind owning at all. In fact, I wouldn't mind owning a bootleg of it, or just someone carving it up and painting it. I wouldn't mind that at all, because I really love the object from the Led Zeppelin Presence album. In fact, well, here's a little bit of a picture of it. I would not mind it at all. And you know, I listened to the second CD on this album, and it was fantastic. And here's the band with Robert Plant Sinton trying, you know, he recorded his vocals sitting down. In fact, Achilles' Last Stand kind of has that Lord of the Rings type feel. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it has that Lord of the Rings type feel of Achilles' Last Stand. And T for One is a good blues track. And of course, this one I picked up a couple of days ago. It's the album In Through the Outdoor. Has this song, In the Evening, All of My Love, I'm Gonna Crawl, Hot Dog, Fool in the Rain, Southbound, Sarzer. All My Love is a very sad track, because he wrote that, Robert Plant wrote that song dedicated to his son who had passed away, and he was very young. I think he was only like maybe 5 or 6, but so sad. And when I hear it, I cry, because my mom passed away about 13 years ago, and it kind of makes you think. And of course, here's the CD. I like this CD like this, with the Swan Song Angel, I call them. And you know, here's the cover, and here's the cover. I mean, the album, the original vinyl album, has the bag over it. I guess, I don't know why the reason was that. I guess it was kind of their answer to the butcher cover that the Beatles released. And of course, I do have a few compilations. I did have the 3 CD version, but it got ruined. So I now have this second CD version of Mothership, which is a compilation of, you know, all their songs over the last 50 years or so. Communication Breakdown, Bad Times, Good Times, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Whole Lot of Love, Ramble On, Heartbreaker, Immigrant Song, Since I've Been Loving You, Rock and Roll, Stairway to Heaven, The Song Remains the Same, Over Hills and Far Away, Trample Underfoot, Houses of the Holy, Kashmir, which is a great song. Love Kashmir. In fact, I think Kashmir is on Physical Graffiti. Achilles' Last Stand, In the Evening, and All My Love. Very good album. And it came with a bonus DVD. The 3rd CD set had the bonus DVD, which I would watch, and had live performances of Led Zeppelin doing various songs. And something my wife bought me for my birthday last year, Celebration Day, the concert that they did at what was it called? The O2 Arena in London, or should I say Wembley Stadium. And this is, I kept the hype sticker on here, and this is a 4 CD set, well, 2 CD set, or was it the 3? Let's see. 2 CD set, 2 of music and 2 of a Blu-ray and DVD of some rehearsal footage, which is a great album. And they had Jason Bonham, who is John Bonham's son, doing drums on this. In fact, he performs in a Led Zeppelin band himself. And doing travel, tours all around the world. In fact, they were here, I think, a couple of years ago doing Led Zeppelin tracks. And of course, Jason Bonham having his own band, Bonham, which the singer at the time sounded just like Robert Plant. And of course, he was in the movie Rockstar with Marky Mark Wahlberg. That's a good live performance. Sorry. And of course, the DVD I do have, I'll leave that for last. Well, no, I'll go ahead and show it off. Of Led Zeppelin, of their 1973 concert film that was released years later. Of the song remains the same. I had to replace this on regular DVD because it got all scratched up, and I bought it on Blu-ray. I think I like the Blu-ray better. Has better features. Of course, the other one you don't have to get up and play 1 and 2, but this is the disc. But it has all sorts of stuff on here, live performances, the interview when they got robbed of that money, over $100,000 that they got robbed from, and it's got performances of Over the Hills and Far Away, plus Misty Mountain Hop in the Ocean. And of course, I'm going to go on to the other stuff. And this one is a Led Zeppelin tribute album that I never bought when it came out. I bought this a couple of days ago when I went to the record store, and it's a very good album. In Chronium, a tribute to Led Zeppelin, has 4 non-blondes doing Misty Mountain Hop, Hootie and the Blowfish, Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? Sheryl Crow doing Dire Maker, which is a very good track. Stone Temple Pilots doing Dancing Days, Big Head Todd and the Monsters doing Tangerine, Duran Duran doing Thank You, Blind Melon doing Out of the Titles, Cracker doing Good Times, Bad Times, Helmet with Dave Vaughan, can't say it, Custard Pie, Rollins Band doing 4 Sticks, Never the Bride doing Going to California, and Robert Plant and Tori Amos doing Down by the Seaside, which I really didn't want to get this, but I decided why not. I wanted to hear what it sounded like, and it was a very good tribute album. And of course, a couple more that I have here. This one did after these 2 respectful bands. When Jimmy Page did his solo work for Outrider, he went out on tour on that with a singer, and the album was good. I liked it. And of course, when David Coverdale's Whitesnake broke up, he decided to team up with Jimmy Page, and the only album they have is Coverdale Page. Wish that they would have done more of these, because I really did like Coverdale Page. I thought they were a great group, especially with David Coverdale's soulful voice singing. And of course, he was in Deep Purple. He formed his band Whitesnake, and recently retired from performing. And I think David Coverdale was one of the best singers. And he has that Robert Plant type voice in him. And I bought that. It was very relatively cheap, like $7. And I checked the condition. The condition's fantastic. And it has the hit song Pride and Joy, and Over Now, and Feeling Hot, Take a Look at Yourself, Don't Leave Me This Way, Absolute Blues, and Whisper, A Prayer for the Dying, Shake My Tree, Waiting on You. They really did a real good feel on this one. And of course, last but not least, this was the final album I bought. And it only cost me $12. Jimmy Page with the Black Crowes. Don't know what kind of record this one is, but I listened to a little bit of it, and it's got the Led Zeppelin classics, you know, Jimmy Page playing the guitar with the Robertson brothers. And it's got Celebration Day, Custard Pie, What Is and What It Should Be, Shape of Things to Come, Sloppy Drunk, In My Time of Dying, Your Time Is Gonna Come, The Lemon Song, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Heartbreaker, Hey Hey What You, Mellow Down Easy, Oh Well, Shake Your Money Maker, You Shook Me, Out of the Tills, and Whole Lot of Love, which I haven't listened to yet. I'm going to listen to later on today when I want to listen to the rest of these CDs that I bought. And, you know, like I said, with Led Zeppelin, you can't go wrong. I've got cassettes of Led Zeppelin. I have the box set that was released in the 90s of Led Zeppelin, but it was on cassette. And I still got it, but it doesn't have the cassettes in it at all. I'm probably going to try to trade it out and get the CD version. Now, I can't get the vinyl version because it's too expensive. I do have a budget. So, I really did like these albums. When I heard that they were doing an album, I was like, I don't know about that. Of course, I did like the Black Crowes debut album, Shake Your Money Maker. And the Black Crowes are more or less a blues rock band anyway. But anyway, that's all I've got as far as Led Zeppelin is concerned. I'll probably get more because I'm probably going to start working on the vinyl records of Led Zeppelin. I got Led Zeppelin 2 somewhere. I think it belonged to my sister at some point. But I don't know if she got it back or it's in one of these boxes somewhere. I guess I'll have to try to look. But anyway, that's probably going to do it for me. I'm going to get off here and go relax a while, maybe go listen to those other CDs in my bedroom. But anyway, I just want to get on here and do this video. Well, that's it for me. This is Revolution Ricky signing off. Keep spinning that vinyl and the CDs. And I shall see you all again in the next video. Peace.